The SLK used to be something of an embarrassment, to be honest. That worst of oxymorons, a starter Mercedes. But thanks to a serious facelift, it at least prints real Benz now. Let's see if that's just a look as we drive the 2012 Mercedes-Benz SLK 350 and check the tech. Okay, here in the center, this LCD display, the command interface, and the associated knob are standard on this guy, but this 5.8-inch 4:3 ratio screen looks a little cramped, even in a car that's a little cramped. And as many Mercedes as I've driven with this interface and this logic of menus, it never gets intuitive to me. This multi-ribbon thing needs a rethink, I think. Let's go to our audio sources. You get there with either the radio button or the disc button, which brings up the ribbon at the top you can poke around. HD radio and Bluetooth streaming are standard, but USB and USB iPod and satellite radio are part of a $2,600 package that includes some other stuff you may not want. And navigation with its associated traffic and weather are part of yet another package for $2,100 that will also include stuff I bet you don't care about, like a hard drive for ripping music to that you'll seldom use, and an SD card slot that I suspect you'll never use. Now, of course, the most important piece of tech on this car is the 20-second retractable power roof. But within that, you got a couple choices. We have the standard $500 option for a shaded glass panel, but you can also do a $2,500 option for the Magic Sky glass, which would be tinted electrochromically. Now, Mercedes is out early on giving you an app to connect to your car. It works on the iPhone right now. It's called the Embrace app. It allows you to send addresses to the car, locate the car a mile away, remote lock it, or even let friends easily send you their location for the nav system to take you to them. Now, the 350 part of SLK 350 tells you you've got a 3.5-liter engine, V6, your only choice. Puts out 302 horsepower, 273 foot-pounds of torque, which gets this 3,400-pound midget up to 60 in about 5.6 seconds while delivering 29 mpg. And all that power goes out through a similar one-choice-only gearbox, a 7-speed automatic that has 3 modes, sport, manual, and economy, as well as paddle shifters and a little slap gate on the stick. Let's see how it all works. Now on the road, here's the problem with the SLK 350. I can put it all into one word for you. When I first got in the car and hadn't researched it yet, I thought it was a Turbo 4. That's not a good thing for a V6. There's prodigious power, but it's very peaky and surgy. It's kind of like a 2-position throttle. You're either on or you're off. Not cool. Not a car I want to take on an interesting road. The 7-speed automatic is a very smart gearbox, but it tends to be one of those that seeks those overly tall gears all the time, which combined with the engine's peakiness is not fun. It's really nice in manual mode, but if I wanted a car with a manual gearbox, I would have bought a car with a manual gearbox. Oh, and here's the one that drives me nuts, coming to a stop right now, and as I do so, and come to a nice full, complete legal stop, the car is going to put its brakes on in a hold mode. I'm off the pedal now, we're not going anywhere, and it always does that. It's a small thing, but it adds a little bit of a delay every time you start from a stop, which in stop-and-go traffic makes me nuts. And I checked all the settings. I don't believe there's any way to turn it off by default. It always does that. Okay, here's my bottom line on the SLK 350. Major and successful redesign on the front end is let down by a dopey-looking and small car rear end. That peaky motor is a pain in the ass to drive, and you gotta listen to that farty exhaust system the whole time. To get it loaded up with all the tech gear we want, CNET style, you gotta pick and choose from a whole bunch of really expensive packages. And those are on top of an already kinda eye-popping $55,000 base price. This car is answering a question that nobody asked. Honestly, it's twice as much money, but just wait till you can afford a real SL.